Hello and welcome to the Fedora Files. I am Gregory Fedora, and once again, we have my good friend Chip Stetson is here. Chip, welcome back again.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you back because you always have some great stories. And you recently got back from a trip, and I don't want to say anything about it because I want you to tell us all about it, where you went, what you saw, and what your investigations were, and all that. So let's get right to it before I word vomit all over the place.
Well,
where'd you go?
I was really excited. I got to go down to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which is this really unique, quaint, weird town in the Ozarks, and it has no stoplights. A lot of interesting shops like quartz and magic shops, and charms and things like that. It's just it has a really nice feel, and it's called Eureka Springs because before America became a country, the Indians used to head over there, and there were natural springs, and they thought they had healing qualities. So they had this very spiritual feel about the land. And then when the settlers came through, they learned about this, and they started going there too, thinking that it was a cure-all type springs. So the town grew and grew, and as it did, they decided to build a hotel. And it's called the Crescent Hotel, which sits pretty much on top of the highest point of the town and can overlook everything that you're walking around in Eureka Springs. And it is considered one of the most haunted, if not the most haunted hotel in America. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's about 3 or 4 or 5 stories tall. I was really excited about visiting this because I've heard about it. I've seen pictures of it, even the town. I mean, it's just something about it had a really good draw to it. And when I was there, they walked me around. Of course, before I got started, they have a bar and a restaurant on the 3rd floor, which was nice. So I had a craft beer and walked out on the balcony and was able to look out over the Ozarks. It's absolutely gorgeous view, and I can understand why they built the hotel there because it's an amazing place. Mm-hmm. However, over time, a lot of that changed because a lot has happened there, which has caused a lot of interesting, spirits and hauntings to take place. Now, when it was built, like I said, it was originally a hotel to help all the people that came in. But after a while, I guess people stopped using it, and they were more living there, and businesses were popping up, and it just didn't have the draw, and they were losing money. So it turned into like a woman's, not reformatory, but a college, so to speak, a woman's school, ladies' school. And after that, there was a guy named Norman Baker, who was kind of a charlatan, one of the like snake oil salesman type guys who go around saying, "Hey, I've got a cure-all for this, I've got a cure-all for that." And he claimed that he could cure cancer. In fact, they have this old tin sign in their basement where it used to be the morgue. It says, "Cancer is curable, Eureka Springs Crescent Hotel." It's kind of an iconic sign.
So it's interesting that that's in the morgue.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and another interesting thing is when somebody would die from cancer that he was supposed to be able to cure, he would, during the autopsy, he would cut out the cancerous portion, he put it into a jar. And there would be all these jars on the wall of the parts that were cancerous. And he actually took a picture of that, put it in a flyer saying, this is a picture of all of our successes. Problem was they were from dead people. So I'm not sure how he's able to spin that, but I mean, there's an actual flyer on the wall that shows all the different jars of the organs. And he used that as a selling point.
Well, he did get the cancer out. Yeah, a little too late.
Exactly. He was not a doctor, obviously, and because he was a charlatan, while he was living there, and it wasn't necessarily a hospital. He made sure he never called himself a doctor or saying that he was a PhD or anything like that to avoid lawsuits. But he was known throughout the country, and people were after him. So when he moved there, he actually had bulletproof glass installed in the office, and he lived on the 2nd floor. And there was a trap door that would go into his office where the bulletproof glass was. Funny thing was, it wasn't from his room; it was from his mistress's room. So if people were going to find him where he was living, he'd be across the hall, jump down, he'd be safe. So he knew that he was being hunted. So he always made preparations.
So
The
he
ironic
knew he
thing,
was being a jerk, and
yeah,
well,
well,
smart
and
man.
the ironic thing is, and I guess you could call this karma. When he did finally die, guess what he died of?
Cancer.
Exactly.
Nice. So the springs didn't help him.
Yeah, no, but it was a fitting into a really big piece of crap. So nobody mourned him, and I just thought that was a fitting into a story of somebody that took a lot of people's money, and he was just a really horrible person.
Yeah, he gave people false hope, and then
exactly. Now after it wasn't a hospital anymore. It kind of went into a little disarray, but then they reopened it as a hotel, and it's still a hotel to this day. And when they were doing renovations and people were staying there, they started learning a little bit about the history of the hotel, because a lot of weird things started happening. One of the most common things that people heard or saw were ghosts pushing gurneys with bodies on them, or if they didn't see the gurneys and the ghost, they could hear the wheels like going down the hallway towards one of the elevators that would take them down to the morgue. That's a very common occurrence. One of the more playful, I guess you could say, ghosts, his name's Michael. He was a mason worker when the hotel was getting built. He was kind of a womanizer, and he liked to show off. And the story goes, while he was working on the outside wall, there was a beautiful woman that was walking underneath or along the bottom, and he was trying to show off a little bit. And he's dancing around or whatever he was doing, slipped and he fell, and he ended up dying. He landed in this room that they now call Michael's room. And even in death, he is still kind of a womanizer. They say that when a woman stays in the hotel, well, early on, they used to have curtains in the shower. Okay. And when a woman was in the shower, the water would instantly either go really, really hot or really, really cold, which would cause the woman to jump out of the shower. So everybody's just saying, oh, Michael just wants to see a free show. Yeah. Well, because this happened so much, they decided get rid of the curtains and put in the sliding, glass or plastic partition. Well, while it helped in one instance, now when a woman's staying there, the shower turns on by itself, even if she's not in it, kind of like coaxing her and say, hey, why don't you come take a shower? So even though he's dead, he still sounds a little playful. He's not quite as friendly with the guys that stay in that room. There have been rumors where he's been a guy's been sleeping in bed, and somebody kicks him in the back, pushes him out of the bed, lands on the floor. Things like
very
that.
Nice. No.
Yeah. So
I find it interesting that he's a ghost, and he can come and go as he wants, but he still was trying to get the women to jump out of the shower when he could probably easily have just gone in the shower. But perhaps it was more fun. I don't know.
Yeah, it might have been a more playful act than anything, and that was part of the what he saw with the whole thing. I thought it was a fun story. I got a kick out of that. It made me laugh. There is a ghost that they talk about that's in the honeymoon suite. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure of the history behind her. It was just a lady that I think she was staying there. Again, I don't remember the whole story because it was a little while ago, but the stories that I do remember hearing them say was, there was a honeymoon couple that just got married, and they were in the room and they were arguing, and as newlyweds do sometimes, I guess. Yeah. So they left, went to have dinner, had a couple drinks. They made up.
That was probably the argument. She wanted to go have dinner and drinks. He did not want to leave the honeymoon suite.
Yeah. He was looking forward to the night. Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Well, who could blame him, right?
Yeah.
So when they got back, they found all of their bags and suitcases had been packed and sent by the door. Apparently, she didn't like the fact they were arguing, so she was like, nope, you can't stay here. Oh. Now, there's other times where, she likes the couple, and they come back and everything's put in drawers and set away, and, they have no idea, who did it, or, if it was the hotel, was it the ghost? It wasn't the hotel, but it was the ghost. So there's just been, a lot of these were fun stories. There weren't too many scary stories that I heard. Now, I know that a couple of the ladies that worked the desk, they said that they've seen scary shadow people down in the basement,
Okay.
where the morgue is.
Yeah.
And they said that, they got, the hair on the back of their neck standing up, chills. One person said they got scratched, but there were more playful stories than there were evil stories, so to speak. Yeah. So there might be, because it was the morgue, there was a lot of pain, well, not at that point, but there was a lot of,
probably
energy.
a lot of angry people who were like thinking they're going to get cured, and then they died and
Exactly.
realized they probably on their final breath realized this guy stole my money. And
exactly. So I'm sure there's a lot of bad energy down in that basement. And it's a very small area. I mean, if you ever seen pictures or any television shows that have visited there, and it looks a lot bigger than it actually is. It's really just two kind of square rooms with a large walk-in area where they kept all the jars and things like that in between them off of a hallway. It's not very big, and I was kind of surprised at how small it was, but at the same time, you could definitely feel some energy in there. It was I don't want to say it was a cold spot, because you're in a basement. It's all stone, and that's the one thing about Eureka Springs. It's built on sandstone, limestone. It's got running water springs with minerals in it. I mean, it's a good conductive area for energy. So, I mean, I can see why not just the Crescent Hotel, but a lot of places around the town also report, spirits or hauntings. So, I mean, it's easy to see why it happens there, because it's kind of like one of those perfect storm type situations.
Yeah. So are there any other like spirits or stories that that people come because I've heard about that
Well, there is this one when it was a woman's reformatory or woman's school. I always got a kick out of this, and it stands out in my head because I was watching one of the shows about ghosts and hauntings and places like that, and they said
people go on adventures looking for ghosts and stuff. Yes,
exactly. And they showed them sitting in the town library, or where they find newspapers and stuff like that. And they said that they discovered a story about a woman in white that nobody told them about at the hotel, which actually that was one of the first stories that were brought up. And it's been pretty common knowledge about this. In fact, the story is there was a young woman who they think she might have been pregnant, and she walked up to the third story of the building and jumped. Or they said that she might have been pushed, because some people say that when they see this apparition fall, some people see another one behind her that kind of fades out into the back. Now, this is such a realistic apparition. There was a police officer that was working in Eureka Springs, saw the ghost jump off the building. He thought it was a real lady. He called it in. He rushed up there in his car. He's searching the grounds for her. Can't find anything. Paramedics, fire trucks, other police officers show up. They can't find anything either. Now, these are, law enforcement. They're trained to, pay attention, catch details, no matter how minute or small or anything like that. And it fooled him. So, I mean, he's not somebody that's going to just make something up, for publicity or anything like that. He was genuinely concerned that this was a woman that jumped and needed help. So, I mean, that kind of made it a lot more credible.
Well, I mean, also among police and fire, they will jab each other, especially him doing that. He's not going to call it in if he, I saw a ghost, it's like, they're going to give him crap. He probably still gets it to this day. They leave little Casper's things on his desk.
Exactly. Or little Barbie dolls in white dresses or something like that, like ghosts and stuff. I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good at ripping one another, especially in a situation like that. But it was an interesting story in the fact that it was a cop that, had this this thing happen to him. It just made it all the more credible and believable story. It was absolutely just a fantastic walk around. The people that were showing me around, telling me the stories, absolute delights. I mean, they were just absolutely amazing. Had a lot of fun. It was a a great time. It did not disappoint. Like I said, I've been wanting to see this place for quite a while, and I was finally able to get down there. It was a lot of fun. And oh, by the way, they have really great pizza inside the bar on the third floor. If you get a chance and you're there, you got to eat the pizza. It's a good New York style.
Yeah, tell them Chip Stetson sent you. And
there you go.
I'm sure they'll remember you. At least,
well,
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe not for the reasons I would want them to, but yeah, no, I had a good time. I didn't get too crazy. I only had a few beers. No, like I said, they were really nice people, and I couldn't say enough nice things about them. And it's like I said, it's just beautiful grounds. They have a great garden. There's even a church on the property grounds that is off to the side. It just is a really unique place and you wouldn't expect it to be there because of it being in the middle of the mountains. I mean, there's a lot of twisting, turning roads just to get there. But once you get there, it's a lot of fun. One of the restaurants I went to had a plexiglass or a glass floor, and you could actually see the springs running through the floor. And, people just walking up and over it. And great food. It's a tourist town, so expect high prices. But outside of that, I highly recommend people go visit. It's a lot of fun. It really was neat.
Go for the spring, stay for the spirits.
Yeah, exactly. And after the spirits, have some more spirits.
Yes, on the third floor.
Exactly.
While you're eating a pizza. So that's fascinating. So, do you have any other thing coming up? Any other events or places you're headed to?
Actually, the next place that I plan on visiting is a small place in Kentucky called Bobby Mackeys.
Bobby Mackeys. I even know of that, and I'm not a ghost hunter, and I know that.
It's famous throughout the world. It's known as the portal to hell. And when you go there, they actually have a sign that says, this place is reported to be haunted. Any injuries or any thing that follows you home, we're not responsible for. They have that right in the front when you're walking through the door. Something's happening there. So I've always wanted to visit. I know it's not quite as a fun place as the Crescent Hotel is as far as their spirits go, because there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of misery, there's a lot of sadness. But it's still someplace that I've always wanted to go. So that's going to be my next visit. I'll make sure to take video and pictures, and I'll send them over to you so you can check them out. But I'm really looking forward to that. Oh yeah, it's going to be great.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm guessing you're going to take a little break here as the holiday seasons come.
As it comes up, I wouldn't mind making my way over to Gettysburg. Maybe we can meet up and explore the place together. That'd be a lot of fun.
I would love to go. Gettysburg. I love Gettysburg, and I love the stories there. There's plenty of ghost stories, and we should go there.
There's amazing amount of stories. It's absolutely incredible, and just the history behind it. Also, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Definitely. So yeah, let's plan on doing that too.
Oh, I'm excited about that now. So but I thank you for coming in, and as always, and we'll talk again when you come back from Bobby Mackeys, as long as you survive the portal to hell.
Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on. And I look forward to letting you know what I find, if I find anything, if anything happens. If not, I'll be able to tell you a lot of good stories and send you a lot of good video.
I'm excited about that, and I will be sure to put it on the website, Fedora CRT. So remember, come check out fedoracrt.com, and you'll see all the podcasts as well as videos and of different investigations. I think you'll enjoy them, and some great blogs and other things. There's all kinds of stuff there. But as always, thank you for stopping by, and stay safe and keep searching.